Hey everybody, just give us a few minutes to start everything up, and we're gonna be going live in a little bit. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight.
All right, Ovi, and I am set up over here as well.
All right. Well, you ready, Thomas? Let's do this. Hey everybody, it's what is this? Wednesday, July 20th, 2022, 8:04 p.m. Eastern. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing okay. I know with the way things are going in the in the crypto market, it's probably got a few of us a little downtrodden. But I'm glad to see my constant peoples here that I always see still around. Glad you guys haven't given up and fled the space. Makes me very, very happy to see you guys. It shows that you guys are survivors and can take a few licks and keep on ticking. I like that because that's exactly what you're gonna get with this new asset class. Is a whole lot of bumps and bruises. It's not gonna be easy. That's for sure. Old man with the dog is laughing. But yeah, it's good to see you guys. So it's been a lot going on in the crypto sphere, definitely, especially with all these bankruptcies, and we have a few of these exchanges switching up the way they do things because of the bear market. So I think they're trying to go into survival mode and I guess keep themselves going strong because this is actually a different kind of a bear market according to the previous one we had in 2018 when Bitcoin lost over 80% of its value. So it's going to be interesting to see how we recover. What's going on over there, Thomas?
Not a whole lot. And you're right, this is a completely different because what we didn't have last bear market, we didn't have China protecting their banks with tanks. Um, we didn't see this bubble for housing. We didn't see a lot of different things are going on. We're running into a recession, and so we're seeing a whole lot of different things. So it's not just the market cycle. So I think it's imperative to know and to keep checking in and keeping a pulse on everything because everybody got a lot of hopium the last few days. Oh, we're pumping. Are we back? No, no, no. We're not back. That's a relief bounce. And when you start looking at trends before we've had these bear markets, kind of what you start seeing within the fluctuation of prices to kind of get a better grasp and an understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, and that's why it's kind of important to keep track of the news and what's going on with the economy because I was doing a little bit of watching some videos yesterday, and they were I was watching actually this show called Squawk on the Street. It's on CNBC, and they were discussing how this crypto rally, as of late, may just be a relief bounce. And I kind of tend to agree and don't feel that the bull run is back, like some people I have seen say in different areas on crypto Twitter and in YouTube videos. There was actually a crypto analyst on there called John Todaro, and he said that what we do see a lot of negative sentiment in the space, and typically that starts to indicate that you are getting close to the bottom. And he's talking about Bitcoin. He also said that we have seen a lot of leverage come out of the system, which also indicates typically that we are getting close to a Bitcoin bottom. But even with that said, the analyst couldn't pinpoint an exact time for a Bitcoin bottom. So with that being said, I guess we just have to, stay diligent and keep an eye on the market. But that analyst himself didn't believe that the bull run is back. These little pumps that we have, they're just relief bounces. That's all they are. It's not going to shoot back up to the all-time high that it shot back up to in November 2021, which was $68,000. So that was Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're not going to see that for a little bit of time. And there's no way to pinpoint it either. What we're going to be seeing a lot of instabilities in something that's going on right now is some states have brought back stimulus. So there are certain states that will be doing a one-time stimulus to their taxpayers that's been in their state for the tax-paying year. And so you're going to see that we are back under $1 trillion in the crypto space period. And it was huge news today, but that Tesla had sold so much Bitcoin. We're at the end of quarter two. This happened in the beginning of quarter two. So you're seeing a lot of just fueled news that's coming out late as it's breaking news. But I think another thing that they're trying to do is sidetrack the investors of what's truly going on. Because I mean, you have Three Arrows Capital. They shut up shop. Their creditors can't find them. Their founder CEO is missing. And then you have Celsius. Their attorney came out yesterday or the day before saying that but investors voluntarily gave their legal rights to their digital assets away. Um, so you have a lot of things going on with these companies that are running from liquidations or trying to liquidate in a certain part of the world. You have the chitter chatter on the street that something may be going on with Coinbase with insolvency and then referring back to the price of the coin for their stock. So you're seeing a lot of this. And then while you're having financial markets plummeting around the world, you have Russia that's doing fairly well because they're selling their oil and they are creating a stability behind their ruble, which has really never been the case if anybody knows about some of these worldwide currencies. And then you have China that we've been waiting for them to do their reset. Everybody knows it's coming. That's why they did the digital yuan with the Olympics and everything. Well, now they don't want a run on the banks. So they are literally protecting their banks with tanks, like I was saying earlier. So you have so much going on, and those are just highlights. That's not all what's going on. You have the euro that hit its 20-year low. That is the closest it's been to a dollar since pretty much it came out. So now we're going to be having to take all that into account while we're looking at the different things that are going on and while we're waiting on this cycle within this bull and bear market. And that's why I do believe we are still in the thick of it in the bear market. And anybody who tries to tell you that we're about out of it, I think everybody should give them a piece of their mind because I don't think we're close.
It's kind of negligent for actually people to be walking around saying that, because a lot of people just start hopping up and buying things. That's why I said you got to be careful who you listen to, and you got to be careful who you trust in this space. Um, for somebody to say the bull run is back on, I've been seeing that a lot actually, and it's a little bit annoying, but I don't say anything because I know better. So, but hopefully those of you who are listening actually take heed to what we are saying, because we are in a bear market. I think the best thing right now to do is to get all your money off exchanges if you have any on there. Maybe ramp up your security and things of that sort. I don't think it's actually right now what's going on is a good time to actually be leaving anything on your on exchanges. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, we've had 3 major cryptocurrency firms file for bankruptcy. So just be careful with how you're storing your money and where you're storing it, actually.
Yeah, and I will say the same thing. Today, I had to really sit back and say, how much of this do I want to put on my Coinbase card? Because I went to go run some errands and pay some bills, and I took some profit. Because one thing that you can potentially do in this bear market when you get these relief pumps is you can commit a little bit of self arbitrage, where if you have enough and it pumps. So for people that's been following Oculus and I for a while, everybody knows that I have some ETC that I've been hanging on to. Well, with the news with Ethereum, that sucker rallied like a mug. In a day and a half, it went from $12 to like $27, and I could do a self arbitrage where I can skim off the top because I know it's going right back down. I can put it over into stables, or I can take some profits off of it. I did a split of that because I know it's coming back down, and I want to double down on that bag just to see what happens later on if Ethereum does move to its proof of the stake. And so that's something you could do if you wanted to watch the markets during this time. Um, I definitely took profits off the top, put some in stables, and then want to wait to try to get into someplace else when it comes lower down, because a lot of people that I do look at and somewhat trust for TA, a lot of them are saying some of the same things. And so when you get these rallies, it adds that hopium back in. And I know we did just get a partial ruling on the SEC with the uh, which one was it? Help me, Ovi. The
Which one are you talking about?
the one Wolf was just talking about. I'm drawing. It starts with an L. Where's my book?
Yeah. But do you think you're talking about ETC? Do you think that ETC rally that they had? Do you think that's because the Ethereum developers finally agreed to an updated September timeline for the merge? Do you think that has anything to do?
I
From
do think it has something to do with it. And then Grayscale is a huge mover in there where they manipulate the price a lot themselves also. So I think it was combined two things. And so I use that as a self arbitrage option.
okay, okay. Well, hold on to your ETC. It sounds like it's been treating you pretty well. I wouldn't get rid of it right away.
Oh no, I think it went up like, oh, I think at the that one day it was up like 72% in one day.
Wow. Yeah, there was a few things that actually pumped over the last couple of days. I was actually surprised by some of them, but you know, I took a little profit on some of those little bitty pumps. That's why I didn't liquidate all my bags like some people did. Just kept a few projects that I was willing to give a little bit of time to, and very happy I did that.
For sure. It was the SEC and that the library case. So the judge ruled that the SEC did not have as many substantial parts to the case as they claimed. So there will be they do not see a settlement coming. So that was a slight win for the company. And so they're going to be coming back. I think they said 2 to 3 weeks, and there will probably be a settlement and no trial on that case. So that is probably going to affect the XRP case, even though I'm not a huge follower of that. I just know that if the SEC is in court and trying to claim these things with these different companies, when once one gets some kind of validation that has no, you can't help but put that into the case laws of the other one, because they'll go back and revisit it. As of the case of blase blah, this is what was found. So we all know somewhat, even if you don't know the legal world like that, we do know that cases will cliff note other cases when it pertains to them to help them get the upper hand. So I think it will be helpful for the XRP SEC case too.
Yeah, most definitely. I see Coinbase was in the news recently.
A
Oh,
whole lot. People think they're in trouble.
I don't necessarily think that Coinbase is in trouble. I think they're just scared because of maybe their spending within the last couple of years. I was watching this news show when they were kind of making fun about these exchanges who were, you know, spending money for commercials and spending money on Super Bowl ads, and they were saying that wasn't even that long ago, and now they're actually doing things to show that they're kind of I guess trimming the fat, as they say, you know, doing things to make sure that they are able to save some kind of pennies. We know that Coinbase stopped their hiring spree and actually rescinded some offers that they actually gave to people. But as of late, the Coinbase is stopping its affiliate program, and I see that that made a lot of people upset. So I did a little bit of research on what their affiliate program is, and basically, affiliates may promote Coinbase by including links and articles, creating new content, and running adverts on their website once they have been boarded. So in the first 3 months of entering the program, an affiliate can receive 50% of a referee's trading commission from Coinbase. So Coinbase actually cut that out. So if anyone is using the affiliate program, I guess that would make you upset because that's extra money that you would put in your pocket that's now actually going to be cut off. So Coinbase said they were doing that actually because of market conditions, because of the bear market. I guess they were saying, as I said, trimming the fat, not shelling out unnecessary money that they don't have to. So that was one of the things that they actually stopped this week recently.
But with the affiliate program, that's the thing is they may have been paying out some, but that was also a way of them getting revenue also. So some of the red flags to me, especially after I was holding my breath on the Celsius thing, is this. One, you're starting to cut programs. You're starting to use some of the same language. You added that clause 13 into your thing some months ago when I was talking about it a lot, and then before that when I was bringing up that they weren't FDIC insured and all of these things. So I am watching, and that's why I said earlier I did some calculations of what I was going to need to spend off that card today, and I moved just that over. I'm not going to be holding a lot on there just because I feel like a lot of the same verbiage we are hearing. Um, then you go and look at Coin for their stock, and it's showing that they were over overpriced on that, and we have been knowing that for months that the coin stock has been overpriced, and they wanted to live in that. Oh no, we're doing so good. Look at our stock price. That's not always an indication of how good the business is doing. So, with all that being said, and then the okay, well, we're gearing down on our employment. Well, they are actually doing layoffs also, and all of that is very PTSD moments of what we've been seeing in the major three recently. So I just say keep your head on a swivel. If you do use your Coinbase card, like I use, especially when I took profits off the no project that I'm in today, I'm not keeping a bunch on there because what you don't want to do, since I know more people use Coinbase than like Celsius, don't wake up one day and feel like I felt when if something all gets pause withdrawals or transactions and then wondering what if. So just do yourself a favor, follow all the security stuff, and the things like even Wolf puts out like the YubiKey. OBS talked about your the keystroke blocker essentially for like your keyboard so people can't track how you type, and get yourself your self custody wallets, because this is just the beginning, and I don't want any of y'all to feel, even if it's just $10, how it can feel when your assets are taken from you.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you're only putting a little bit of money on that Coinbase card because I don't trust them, but I never trusted that card anyway. Um, I know a lot of people use it, but I've just never been really sold on that card. Just for the simple fact that the few times I have tried to use it for certain things, it wasn't accepted, and that kind of turns me off. So I'm actually glad you're not putting thousands of dollars on there, or if anything, you cash out and
Oh
just
yeah, that
sitting it
I
there.
I
Mm-mm.
cashed out, had to get new earbuds so I could be on the show tonight. Had to get some gas and just some minor things. And I put it on there. I think maybe there's probably like $30 left on there. It'll probably be used in the morning, but it will be put over there in small increments. And the only way I'm doing it right now, because I know it's fast, is whatever it is, I swap or I bridge to AVAX, send it over into AVAX, and immediately put it into USDC. I know it's fast, so that if I need anything else because I miscalculated and want to put a little bit more on it, I can get it all done in less than 5 minutes and be good to go without the risk of money just sitting there like, hey, I'm right here. You want to take me? Yeah, I don't want anything else taken from me. That Matic hits me hard in my chest, but there's no point in crying over spilt milk. I'll just keep bringing it up as learning um, a learning situation for anybody else. So if I can keep telling my story and it helps the next person say, well, I do know somebody that this happens to. It's just not a story on Twitter or something that I've heard. I actually do know somebody that this happened to. It hits closer to home, so people take it a little bit more seriously. So if I can just keep letting people know and keep reminding people so that they don't take those inadvertent risks, then I'd rather just talk about it and not be over here crying about it. I mean, there's nothing else I can do about it. They got my assets. I might get pennies on a dollar later on after all the court stuff. I'm still not holding my breath on that, but I just want everybody to be more safe. And these big crypto exchanges doesn't mean shit.
No, size don't matter. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Facts.
And as we were saying earlier, this is a different kind of uh, market right now, kind of one that hasn't been seen before within the crypto space. It's a lot of economic things at play. So we can't be sure what any of these exchanges are going to do. That's why I don't leave anything on there, and that's why I'm not really pushing nothing to their cards. I know people who are trying to cash out and have Coinbase send their money to their bank account, and it's been like 3 weeks. It doesn't take that long for an ACH transfer. So why is Coinbase holding on to people's funds? You know, you cashed out your crypto, you chose the option to actually have it sent to your bank account so you can, make it into fiat dollars, and it's like they're dragging their feet with that. So those are things that I'm looking at. So anything that I have cashed out, I kind of just left it in USDC. I haven't even tried to do that right now because I don't really want Coinbase to, you know, screw around and hold my money for 2 weeks, which is what they're doing to a few people. I'm not really sure why they're doing that, but I have an idea. But that's why I just said I don't really trust these exchange cards, and I'm watching the things they're doing. They're lowering, how much you can withdraw of per day. A lot of these exchanges are in survival mode, and they're doing things to make sure that they protect their interests first, not necessarily yours.
Right, and I do know that their new bylaw, they said it only affects Dutch users, but I always say if you're changing it for one set of people, keep an eye on it because it can inadvertently affect you even months down the road. So now Coinbase has said for its Dutch users, and it kept saying we are saying for our Dutch users. So for their Dutch users, I guess they were saying that so they now want to make sure that their Dutch users, if they're sending assets from Coinbase to another wallet, they want you to verify you have custody. You, as a person, have your own custody of that wallet to approve a transaction to send to. If it's I forget, about over a certain amount. So now what they're doing essentially is if you have your quote unquote DeFi wallet, or you have, let's just say, MetaMask wallet, you don't have to do a verification on your MetaMask. But Coinbase, for its Dutch users, is now wanting you to verify that that's your wallet. I don't know how they're making people do that. I was just reading that. That was an update to their FAQ, and I was digging further into that, but I could not get a 100% answer. How do you verify that this wallet belongs to you in order to get that transaction? So that's kind of sketchy to me also. So there's a lot of similarities right now going on in Coinbase environment that we've been seeing. So I'm really hesitant right now.
Yeah,
Hey, Wolf.
what's up, Wolf? But how the hell are you gonna tell somebody that this is my wallet? Like, what are you gonna
I
do?
don't know, especially if it's not one that you KYC. But they
Like,
kept
what the?
saying, this is for our Dutch users. These are our Dutch users. Okay. I don't give a damn if it's Dutch, German, American, or what. If you have a MetaMask wallet, you haven't KYC. How can you prove that that's yours? I'm sure as hell ain't sending you my keys.
that isn't. That sounds like a bunch of malarkey. Like, how are you? Just playing. Like, how are you actually going to like tell somebody? Just like my the addresses I have for my wallet. What are we gonna do? Send you a screenshot of my phone and me? What is it gonna be like a hostage letter? Like,
Hey, Celsius made me do that.
yeah,
Remember when I got
yeah.
stuck on huddle mode and they said my password was wrong, which it was not. I swear to you, it was not wrong. And I had to do a handwritten letter, a hostage um, selfie with my letter, and then had to do a video of me moving so you could
Really?
prove that yes, it was a whole process. It was a 5-step process. I had to handwrite. I had to do and send to their customer service as a request to unlock my mode. I had to do a selfie with my ID, and then I had to do a video selfie of my letter and actually move so they can prove that you are human and it's not a picture of a picture.
Oh my god! Wow, that's crazy.
And I still left my shit on there to get taken. So
Damn.
yeah, don't be me, y'all.
Yeah. What's up, Wolf?
Hey, what's up, ladies? Happy
Hey,
Wednesday.
Wolf.
Happy Wednesday.
Hey, hey. So I'll just chime in on the Coinbase action. Uh, it sucks to hear that people are having issues with the ACA shit. Um, I mean, I kind of suck it up a little bit, and I just use the debit card. It's the instantaneous, but they also have instant withdraw now with ACH. Um, for whatever reason, on my end, for me personally, my ACA instant withdraw never works on Coinbase. And I like Coinbase, but my ACH instant never works. However, my debit instant always works. So it's in my bank account or on my card, whatever, my checkings in like 30 seconds after I do that option. So for anybody who uses Coinbase, it depends on how much amount that you're withdrawing, but they do charge, obviously. The ACH transfer is obviously free, so it does take. It should only take like 2 to 5 business days max. But obviously, as you heard, some people are dealing with up to 2 weeks, which is kind of bullshit. Um, that's shitty. No one should ever have to wait that long
No, you
to
know what
get
it
their
is? No,
funds.
it's not that. It's not that instance. It's where they actually cashed out. They've changed their crypto into cash and they want to send it to their bank account.
Yeah,
Coinbase
that's what
is
I'm
the
talking
whole
about.
yeah, Coinbase is the holdup. They're like I'm calling my bank.
Yeah,
The bank is like nothing has been presented to us, so we don't know what you're talking about. Like they
yeah,
haven't
that's
even
insane.
presented this to the bank yet. It's just sitting there in limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. That's what I mean. So like for that to even happen is kind of crazy, and I guess that would go along with me having issues with my instant ACH, withdrawals on Coinbase. And that's why I just like I suggest to everybody if they do, foot the bill, between 10 and $100 or whatever, depending on your withdrawal. Or you can even link I mean, most of our bank accounts are linked if you're using that anyways, and you can do the wire transfer. That's pretty convenient. However, my bank charges I think like $25 every time it receives or sends the wire transfer, and Coinbase I think charges a couple like $10 to $15 as well. So almost comes out to the same price as sending it instantaneous to the debit card, depending on you know how much you're sending, obviously. But just that, and then the Dutch thing, that is funny. Unfortunately, we saw a new wave of regulations come out across multiple countries, New Zealand, a couple, Canada, some other little countries too as well, that are requiring, and recently Europe, the European Union, um, with the whole MICA stuff, regulations coming out that they require in most of these countries, it's $1,000 or €1,000, whatever whatever it comes out to be, or more. They do require KYC identification. And the other thing that we have to keep in mind is, well, I mean, if you file taxes on honestly, which I'm sure some people out there don't, your MetaMask is probably already included in that stuff. I know with the coin tracker and some other ones out there, Coinly, that you can use, you can already link all that stuff. So it's probably already KYC if you did it properly. So not too much of a big deal. But most of these countries, so it's not pertaining to just Coinbase itself. It's just the regulations that are going on in that country. And maybe Coinbase is just, uh, you know, I'm sure there's a certain date or a period where other exchanges will also follow suit. But Coinbase is probably just first with those new regulations to get ahead of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then Coinbase got accepted. The only other one besides Binance in Italy as did they say a regulated exchange?
It's Crypto.com and Coinbase 2 days ago. They were a day apart from each other. They both got accepted.
Yeah, so we're seeing it across the board, different things. I would just say, like we all say, don't keep anything on the exchange. I'm holding my breath at my $30 on my USDC that I have on the card right now because I really, really don't trust any of them right now. And at $30 is $30, but what I know that Matic was worth a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, and I just held on to it. I did take some profits off of it because I don't listen to everybody. I am big on if there's a major pump, you should always take some kind of profits and know what that means for you individually. Is it a percentage? Is it if the coin price goes up this amount? Whatever it is for you, I would definitely say know your entry and exit strategies and stick by them. Don't let somebody else veer you in the wrong direction. Let me tell you this real quick though. HODL is not an investment strategy. It's not.
Says who?
There's entry and exit strategies. There's ways to hold. Yes, you can HODL some of it, but to HODL it up and down constantly, the whole roller coaster, the whole emotional roller coaster, that is not a true investment strategy. And I want to implore all of y'all, if any of you stick by that, to really look at what that means in the long run. Because a couple weeks ago, it was either on Crypto Underground or our show, it was if you were holding Bitcoin since I think it was 2010 and you never took profits, you would be back at the same exact place that you are today on that day. And then there was one, the same thing. It was like a 4-year cycle thing with XRP. You were going to be at the same. So hodling is not the motto. And I think that people should really look at what each individual coin that you hold, what it means to hold a certain amount. I'm not saying, and let me cut myself off. I'm not saying that if you take profits, you sell it all. That's not what taking profits is. It's taking a certain percentage off of what you have invested, and you either take that and roll it into something else, you put it in stables, or you take a fiat or you take your fiat cash out. So there's a few different strategies in that. So I just wanted to bring that up because while we're in the bear market, it really gives people a time to sit down and truly strategize.
The thing is about like holding something like that. There were coins that I bought in 2017, and that actually reached their all time high in 2018, right? And I decided to hold for something bigger. And guess what? They still haven't hit what they did in 2018. So, so it's now 2022. So I kind of like, shot myself in the foot, doing that. So you do want to actually be mindful of holding on to something too long, because there is a such thing as holding on to a crypto for too long and not seeking profit. Not taking profit, rather. You definitely want to take profit, but a lot of people are afraid to take profit. Timeless, just like we spoke about in the past, is because they either take too much or take too little. That's what I was reading this article about taking profit. Some people actually take too much of a profit, or they take too little. So it's like that scary medium that people haven't yet. A lot of people, investors rather, haven't yet mastered. But that also comes with experience, because I myself have always used to take too little profit, or sometimes I've taken too much. But as you're here in the space, you'll actually learn how to do that more. Actually, Chris, you had your hand up. What's up? Talk to me.
I was gonna say, if you want me to come back in like 5 minutes, I was listening to y'all. I have a lot to say about that, but I didn't want to be disrespectful and talk while I was in the shower.
What the hell?
Finish taking your shower, Chris. Just listen. Raise your hand when you're done.
Let's go. Let's go.
Chris, wash your back.
Get out your dollar bills, everybody. Special guest, Crypto Urso in the shower.
I thought I'd be out in time, and then you guys just pulled it, and I was just like, oh no, I'm still in here.
Well, how long are you gonna be in there? Let me stop. Okay, Chris, just listen.
Okay.
We'll be here. No, stay up on the speaker thing. Just when you come back, raise your hand when you're done.
We'll do.
All right, hon. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious, Chris. You
Hilarious. Like
it sounds like that shower is hot as hell.
just like we had DeFi as fuck, he was the flusher. Now we have Chris, and he's the shower.
That's right, Chris is the shower. Oh my god. I was gonna also bring up Thomas. I meant to bring this up to you the other day when I was talking to you, but I'm glad I waited. Now that we have everybody here, they were saying that there was an influx of new investors, like in late 2020 and 2021, and they were saying that a lot of them lost a lot of money because they were new, actually, and they were it was this I think what's the guy from Paxos? I forgot his name. I think it's Andrew Chang or Andrew Chan. I was watching him the other day, and he had a lot to say, and I'm going to quote him, and I'm just going to shout out some blurbs here from what he was saying. He was saying that apps like Robinhood and PayPal and Cash App have enabled people to invest or buy into cryptocurrencies, like even the novice, He also said that people had a greater awareness of cryptocurrency and then a greater availability of capital through stimulus checks or low interest rates. And Timeless, you have mentioned these damn stimulus checks many times about how people would take their stimulus checks and invest in crypto. I actually didn't get to benefit from stimulus checks, so I was kind of fascinated by you saying that. And then he was saying that in part kind of to him led up to Bitcoin being so high. Bitcoin did reach its all-time high in November of 2021 at 68,000. Then he was also asked about the recent downfall and what does he think that led to this crash. And Andrew, if I'm saying his name wrong, somebody please correct me if you know what I'm talking about. But I think it's Andrew Chang or Chan, but he was with Paxos. He said that what led to the downfall in this recent crash is partly due to the greater economic downturn. And secondarily, we are seeing a number of crypto companies that have filed for bankruptcy, like Voyager and Celsius. And he said many of these crypto companies took on too much risk, and that risk led to them imploding as the price went down. And he was also asked about, because I was watching this on PBS. This guy named is Jeff Bennett, and he was asking the guy Andrew Chang. He was asking him. He was like, well, isn't crypto like separate from what's going on in the market? And he was like, it's not realistic to think that cryptocurrency or any other alternative asset is immune to being completely divorced from the economic picture. So basically he was saying it's stupid for anybody to think that any kind of financial or any kind of thing that's going on with the world is not going to affect cryptocurrency. He was saying, war affects stocks, if it affects everything. So he was saying that any economic downturn will affect not only traditional financial assets, but other financial assets like cryptocurrency. Because I'm only bringing this up because I've heard a lot of people who actually do think that cryptocurrency is like separate from like what's going on in the world. Like it's just like its own beast. And it was actually refreshing to hear somebody with more knowledge than the people who have said this, feel like I feel. Like it's stupid to think that cryptocurrency is not going to be affected by what's happening economically in our world.
And on top of that, how can we think crypto is in its own league when it has not even decoupled from the stock exchange yet? So we can see the different trends that have longer history of trends in the stock market that also transcend over to the crypto market. So until crypto can get depegged from the stock exchange, we cannot think that crypto won't be affected by regular economics. And that is why you have the UK is getting ready to start regulating stable coins. Why? So the UK can stay prevalent within their own currency, but also have a hold of some regulations on to help that support in the buildup of their currency above a stable coin. Then you also have Russia said, hey, guess what? I'm signing into law. We will not be taking crypto as payments. And everybody said he outlawed crypto. No, he said the only thing that they will not allow crypto is to pay for goods and services because the ruble is on its way up in strength. So these governments are not going to cut off their nose despite their face. And crypto is here to stay, but it's still another financials avenue. And when you have to, for people to get in, you have to have some kind of fiat to get into crypto to start with. Everything's holding hands. So it makes perfect sense what you were just saying, Oculus.
Yeah, I kind of figured that you would appreciate that because, just so many people, like I've been around some people who say, we don't want to talk about war or we don't want to talk about this when it comes to news. And I'm like, how the fuck can you not want to talk about this shit? This shit is affecting the economy. I mean, the economy is crypto, is money. And, you have to talk about what's going on outside of the financials. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like common sense to me. So I just wanted to make sure that I bring that out for the people who are listening and for those who will listen after we get off. I just thought that was very important.
And on top of that, because I did know people close to me, not only was it the stimulus, but it was that $600 a week addition on unemployment. And people had been hearing about crypto. Even people around me, oh, but you said you've been in and you've made some gains and you made this and that. And then, then you have the people who said, hold on, you said crypto helped you do that 6 weeks travel in Mexico. I didn't lie. It did. But then what in their little infinite of minds thought that they could throw in this extra bit of money that they're getting for a short time and they thought that this money was going to grow exponentially in a very short time. And when that wasn't happening, then you started getting the um, for the foreclosures and the eviction and moratorium started wearing off around the country. Then you started seeing inflation going up. Then you started seeing this downturn like you were just talking about, that gentleman was talking about. Those same people got scared, and what they did is they started pulling that money directly out. So like Wolf was saying with us not too long ago, and we all kind of agreed that even though we were still up in the market, the actual bear market started happening like last November. The people were in node season, so they were still getting gains. We were still moving around like we weren't going into a bear market. But when you took yourself out of the node season and your node projects and you started looking around, yeah, you would have some green candle days, but at the end of the day, everything was starting to trend down back then. So everybody acts like this just came out of nowhere. Oh my God, what's going on? Well, it's been happening, but then it's going to happen in an even faster pace because of all this worldwide stuff. And even if you don't want to talk about the war, the things that are going on around the country or around the world, you don't have to publicly say what side you stand on. You have to acknowledge that these tensions and these civil wars and these wars against humanity are happening in different places of the world, even ones that aren't on mainstream media. There are still civil wars and wars against humanity happening in places in Africa. You got China coming in and buying up the block. So you have so many of these things while we were having an influx of money from our government for a moment. And now our government isn't giving it to us, but giving it to other countries. So it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you stand on, right, wrong, left, right, any of this, to acknowledge and to understand and be able to do your digging and your research to kind of see CBDCs and things like that, it's going to be important. But I'm going to pass this back to Oculus, see if she has a follow-up. Then we'll go to Chris. It looks like he's out the shower now.
Nah, no, you can go to Chris. Chris, are you out the shower?
Yes, I didn't even want to mention it, but it was pretty obvious. But
I
yeah.
mean,
So
we heard the water running.
yeah, I guess I should have just said nothing. I don't know. Anyhow, yeah. How's everyone doing?
We
Doing all
are
right.
good.
Doing
How are
really good.
you?
We good.
Good. Just wanted to make sure everyone was all right. So I heard you talking about a couple topics for me. So I was someone that definitely was terrified of selling. And I told myself I got to break that habit because everyone, keeps saying take profits and whatnot. And for me, I always found it, man, it's just easier to buy, throw it on the ledger and whatever. And that was just kind of like, what I got accustomed to at first. And then it just kind of started sticking out to me when people just kept saying like Wolf and you guys, like, and then someone who talks to me on a pretty casual basis about taking profits, like I was just like, hey, like I'm in the positive like $400. I'm like, do you think I should take profits? And they're like, dude, like you're not a whale. Like that's good. Take your $400, put it to, US dollar coin or put it in your bank account and wait till things dip down again and reinvest it again, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I should do that, and then so I did that. And then, Polygon's been going like up and down and up and down. So I put it onto an exchange and just been kind of getting myself into the habit of selling, because I find myself, maybe you guys, because you've been doing it longer, um, probably sell sometimes as much as you buy, or, depending on what type of, trader or, investor each person is. But my habit was just usually used to having the coin and and enjoying it, and I realized that that's not what this game's about. Um, and I had to force myself to just, I opened up a book, started writing on pages daily, the numbers down. I wasn't doing any of this before. And I'm like, and I'm missing out on opportunities. I know it sounds simple, when we get these big dips after this pump that we're getting, that when things go down, if they do, then yeah, it's easy if you think you're near the bottom or it's heading down toward the bottom to just buy and wait for it to shoot back up again. But like you were just saying not too long ago, take profits. You don't have to sell everything. And that's the part that I kind of struggled with, in this. It wasn't like nodes where you claim, and some people even just bought the coin and didn't create nodes. There's all different strategies that people were taking, when I started learning more about it. And I learned my biggest lesson when I had a ton of XRP and held it from the pandemic, and then the SEC hit and then it dropped down, and I just did what everyone said to do: hold or hodl, whatever you want to call it. And I told myself I would never let that happen again. But at the same time, I also said to myself, I got to start practicing the idea of selling and get used to it. Then I didn't even realize like Uphold, gives you 2% on their debit card. So what I was doing is like, if I wanted to, move money from one exchanger to another or cash out, if there were issues, like let's just say, like crypto.com, they'll allow you to cash out, within a day or two. It's in my account because I have one of those online accounts where you get paid 2 days early or whatever. So it happens relatively quickly. Uphold would have like a cool off period or a waiting period. So I would just use my Uphold card and cash everything out on there, and you get 2% of whatever crypto you have. And then I'd cash it out from crypto.com because theirs would be instant. And I didn't even realize that because they keep airdropping me coins, and I was looking up the stipulations to that. And now they got rid of the cool off period, so you can move it off the exchange immediately. So they just removed that. I posted that on the thing. I still don't, trust the exchange thing. It doesn't change my mind toward it. But I just thought I'd let you guys, know about, that they offer that on their debit card stuff. To do that, and you can get 2% on any, and they'll do it on any coin that you use on their debit card. And that there is no cool off period if you use your debit card now, so you can move the coin, except for Algorand. And I don't know about some of the others, you cannot move off their exchange. They have certain coins that are theirs, and they basically, I think someone once said this verbatim, like they lease you it. You know what I mean? And then, you could take the profits or trade it, but it's never yours. And you have to do an agreement for that. But yeah, I've been getting in the habit of selling, and doing the whole profits things. And, it's definitely helped out a lot. It takes a lot more structure that I didn't have, that I started, digging deeper into and listening to you guys on strategies and things and coming up with my own. But just as long as it's leading to profit, after fees and, if there are any minimal fees, because I think Uphold doesn't have a fee. I think they just charge you a different rate than what the currency goes for. So that's how they make their money.
Yeah, and I will say, as an example, so when this is an example of why HODL is not your friend at times. I bought $175 of Matic once upon a time. That thing ran up to about just under 80 grand, and I took my $200 because, okay, I'll just get what I put in. Well, granted, it was house money at that particular time, but then I listened to everybody else. Just hodl it, just hodl it. It's going to go to the moon. It's that you're building a moon bag. Well, guess what? That moon bag crashed. It was nowhere near 80 grand, almost 80 grand. And then I started learning about taking profits. Then it was house money like times 4. And then I bought another smaller bag, and that's the bag. Oh, that's the bag that is in Celsius right now. So that it just shows you that when you look ahead, yes, you can still hold it When somebody says this is my long-term bag and I'm holding it long-term, yes, you hold the coin long-term, but on those pumps, and you decide individually how big of that pump will it trigger you to say, this is in my exit strategy. This is when I take profits. And because I have X amount of coin, and at that price, or at that moment when it goes up this amount, it'll be this price. So then you calculate those things together, and then you look at an average of what would be a good amount to take the profit. To go back to what Oculus was saying, is you don't most people will undertake profits or overtake profits. When you find that warm spot right there, that's where you need to focus on taking a percentage of your profits then. And then you can either take it as profit and go into fiat to spend it. You can put it into stablecoin and wait for that inevitable drop to double your bag, or multiply your bag. I won't just say double, to multiply that bag. Or you can roll that now into another project that you've been waiting for, like how you had your pie chart. So there's different strategies for different people in their lifestyle and what they're trying to achieve. But hodling the whole thing and never doing anything with it, you will inevitably be right back to where you started, because that is market cycles.
I think I think one of the most interesting things that I read this week from Forbes magazine is that there are over 19,000 cryptocurrencies.
I read that too. Crazy, right?
Rare, and there's no guarantee that it's going to be 19,000, even your faves included, 3 years from now or 2 years from now. So you're holding and holding, right? And all of a sudden, devs are gone from your project. It's dead. It's not doing nothing. I mean, the Twitter is dead. There's no kind of social media interaction. Like, it's nothing. So you've held on to this project, and you've watched it go up, and you watch it go down, and you watch it go up, and you watch it go down, and you haven't even taken any profit. So now you've just been left with holding the bag. So basically, somebody just basically stole your money from you. So that's why I don't believe in hodling. Do I hold some projects? Absolutely. But I don't hold them for life. I take profit. There's some projects that I'm holding for 4 to 5 years. There's some projects that I give you a year. But best believe, if they haven't done what I expect them to do and what they said they're going to do in a year, I sell. I'm not going to be left holding on to projects, because I've done this before, being here, for a little bit of time. There's a lot of dead coins in my wallets that had promising, outlooks and great white papers and great this or that I actually believed in, that now are not doing anything. Like, they're dead. I mean, like, literally, like a walking corpse crypto. So, with that being said, 19,000 cryptos. Out of those 19,000, a lot of them are not going to be here next year. Will there be more? Maybe a bigger number of crypto next year? Yeah, it will. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to think sensibly here. And you can't just hold on without taking profit. I mean, why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, look at a lot of us in node season. Some of us truly believed in some of these nodes because they had been around longer. They showed more promise. You trusted the team. So, me included, did not take the profit that I should have gotten my ROI back and worked on my ROI first instead of compounding. That compounding will bite you in the ass, just like that hodling will bite you in the ass. You have to know what your ups and your downs and your in-betweens are, and devise your own plan that gets you to your finish line, should I say. So yeah, this is a great conversation. I think it's a conversation that truly should be happening in this bear market, because now a lot of us out here have never seen a true bear market, and this is a different one, all in all, like we've been talking about this evening. So if you can withstand the heat of this bear market, this crazy inflation, economic downturns across the world, different wars going on across the world, different people fighting for power across the world. And we can come at the end of this with a few scars, some bumps and bruises, but you're still here. Then you've enveloped so much more education within the space. You start understanding what a relief bounce is. You start understanding what taking profits, the exit and entry strategies, how to research these coins. This is the time, and as much as it's a lot of people are depressed or, oh man, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Well, okay, stand up, brush yourself off. Now let's dig in and research what these coins are doing. What is the technology? What is the question, or what is the problems that these things are solving? And then you start rolling forward, and time to start getting excited and setting yourself into a good position for this next bull market. What's up, Wolf?
Yeah, I just wanted to contribute to the combo. I mean, it all starts at ground level, right? Always. So risk management, um, understanding, having an entry plan, having an exit plan, are key things that you should be focusing on when you're purchasing your cryptocurrencies, because you need to know: am I holding this short term? Am I holding this long term? Am I holding it mid term? You know, or am I just day trading or slash swing trading this? You got to have a plan in place. Um, and one thing that I always say, I mean, I say multiple things, but some things that we can really focus on, and I think I retweeted OV last week, is, you know, don't marry your bags. I mean, we've said this numerous times in the past. Don't marry your goddamn bags, please. Like, you see what happens to people that marry their bags. I mean, we've heard stories of people getting wrecked, etc., whatever. Obviously, if you hold it long enough and it does some justice, sure, you might make up. But don't marry your bags and become toxic either, because that's a trait of marrying your bags and whatnot. And then obviously taking profits. That's huge. And if you had those plans set up, you would know at certain increments, even if it is a long-term hold, let's say, like Thymeless was saying, you still have a plan in place where you're taking profits along the way. So it's just key to have those things set up. And I don't think a lot of people stop to take the, couple hours to just sit there with a pen and paper, or using your notepad on your computer or tablet, whatever, your phone even, um, and just go over that stuff. I mean, it's really ground level stuff, and you really want to focus on that shit first. Or like I said, as you're going ahead and, before you make that purchase, really, even though you're super excited to do it, stop and think for a second. Give it an extra 60 minutes or whatever. If you have TA experience, then you know that 60 minutes can be okay. That you can afford it, depending on what the chart's doing. But still, sit there and just think. Okay, short term, long term, midterm list. Put it in that row. You can even make columns, and then put what you're expecting out of it, and put your target price, take profit targets and stuff. But yeah, that's all I have to add.
No,
That's huge. I
right.
know just what I was just going to say, just real quick, Oculus and I both have crypto books. And I think, and the psychology of a human brain says, yes, you can type it. But when you write it pen to paper, your brain absorbs it and you have a better recall when you do a pen to paper. So even though in the date of technology, I am huge on a crypto book, and that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Obi. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was gonna, I was gonna say the same thing. Using technology is great, but there's nothing like good old fashioned pen and paper, because you're right. You're looking at it as you write it. Your brain is working with your hand, so you are going to remember it. That's why whenever I'm talking about something or anything I say here, it's actually something I wrote down. I wrote it down first, even though I read it and I could have just brought it up on the screen. I wrote it down, and then I'm reading it to you guys. I'm sharing it with you guys. So all these little facts that I'm telling you guys, I wrote it down. As I looked at the computer, I wrote it down. That's why I'm able to remember it. So, I mean, if you don't have a crypto book, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. You should actually write these things down. And, going back to what Wolf was saying, you do have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have an exit strategy, because aren't we in crypto to make money? That's what we're here for, right? Or are you just here to hold on to shit like it's like it's something your grandmother or your grandfather gave you, like it's land or some shit. I mean, it's, you're in crypto to make money. So if you're not taking advantage of making money when something you're invested in actually, makes a profit and you're up in the green in your portfolio, then that's kind of, not fair to yourself. What's up, Chris?
No, I mean, I was just, since we were talking about it, I just, me talking about it is good and listening, but I'm glad I did the book thing. Maybe people have mentioned to write it down, and maybe that's where I indirectly got the idea from. But I was just like, man, I'm not typing nothing on a spreadsheet. I'm just writing stuff down on paper and pen. So I'm glad to hear that others do that. That's awesome. Because I felt like kind of like, oh well, dear diary, how's my XRP doing today? But I was just like, nah, it's not like that. It didn't feel that way after a while. So, but I mean, like I said, like when I first got into this whole stuff, I mean, that's what everyone said to do, and selling it was just like, nah, like I want this forever. I was like, Smeagol's from Lord of the Rings, like with the ring, just like you just never wanted to, let it go. But another thing also too, um, that I was talking to Scott with about, is that he was telling me that, like, he said that I talk about like different coins and I bring up, too many different like projects all the time. I posted a picture in our in the crypto underground chat of the pie, that I did, because he was like, draw yourself a pie, like of projects that you truly believe in, and narrow it down, because he's like, you always talk, it's not a bad thing. He said to do research and stuff like that, but like, he's like, he said you could drive yourself cuckoo, because he goes, I know you work full time, and crypto isn't full time. So if you were doing it full time, to make a living, then finding different projects, you got to find your different way to, I guess, leverage your money or whatever. I don't do any of that stuff because I'm not a full time investor. But he was just like, because he said when you buy when it gets low, typically the way the market moves, they all move at the same percentage. So your gains are typically the same, or they follow one another. One may, he said one may boost up a little bit higher than other because of news, but he was just like, break it down into a pie or a chart. Maybe I'm not explaining it as good as he did, obviously, but he was just like, when everything starts moving upward in a bull market, everything just starts moving along with it. So, just stack up on a certain amount of coins and have a large amount. So then you could take out, stash away, and start again. Because, he's like, you can't, it's hard for you to really build on getting, 50, 100,000 coins, if you're wanting like 30 different projects. He's like, narrow it down to the ones that you believe that'll survive, through any type of, regulations, or, that you think will be around, that the technology is good, that people, will always buy, and I was just like, all right, that helped too, because that was another big stress I had as well, was like, which ones am I going to pick? What am I going to do? I always want some of this and some of that. And then I just told myself, you know what, that's having favorites, and you're not supposed to have favorites. You're just supposed to go with, what the future is supposed to be, or what's going to gain.
Yeah, and I'm big. I haven't used my line in our Twitter space in a while. I'm huge on keeping a pulse on your portfolio. And when you have too many, like if you have like 500 coins of a few different projects, even if that thing goes parabolic, really what are going to be your gains on it? It's not going to be that substantial. So keeping a pulse on it is extremely important. And then being able to pay attention that, okay, well, the white paper was this, their technology is this, their answer, they're solving this problem with this answer, and longevity, they look well. But as time goes on, if they stop hitting their marks on the roadmap, the communication gets less. You have to be able to know and kind of pinpoint when it's time to start pivoting away and getting into something else. Or if, okay, this isn't looking too good, and then the chitter chatter, and it's just not the word I hate, quote unquote, FUD, because people can call FUD with the air quotes on a lot of things, and then within 24 hours, transactions can be halted. So it's imperative to keep a pulse on it, and I'm glad that you are now doing pen to paper. I do my pen to paper, but I also do have my spreadsheet, because in my pen to paper, as I'm buying things, I actually put down what I bought, the date and the time I bought it, the price I bought it. I put all its analytics, and then later on, I'll go into my spreadsheet, and I have my coin spreadsheet in there. So then when I'm going back, I don't have to say, oh, you know what, Wolf, I think I bought Mana at around, oh, I don't know. And I'm only using this conversation because we've had it. I know I bought my first bag of Mana at 5 cents, and I bought my second bag of Mana at 8 cents. And I only know that from being in crypto as long as I have, because I do have my crypto book and I have my spreadsheet to go back and look at. So it's really important to keep an eye on these things. Just like if anybody who works full time and contributes to a 401k, you get your quarterly report from whoever is servicing your 401k. And when I was contributing to a 401k, I also was looking in, because they're automatically going to put you in a low risk group of funds. But you can go in there and you can assume more risk and move your funding around within your 401k. Crypto is exactly the same thing. We are changing how we are saving for our retirement and building for our retirement within the crypto space. So some of those same fundamentals and those principles are going to be important within the space, even though everybody's, oh, it's digital assets. It is digital assets, but there's a reason we are doing this. It's not just for fun. We're not at the slot machine. If you're trading, some of that might come into play, but this is a way of building wealth and value, more so for later than in the right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Just going back to what Chris was talking about, how now he's writing everything down. You know what I like about having a book is because when you go back and look at things that you were looking at, right? Especially last year. I'm looking at May of 2021. I'm looking at some projects I was looking at. VeChain was 16 cents on May 17, 2021. Matic was $1.73. Solana was $47.94. Telecoin was actually 3 cents. RSR was 4 cents. Dogecoin was 31 cents. Link was $27 on May 17th of 2021. And XRP on May 19th was $1.15. So that's why I always say you got to write down these things and date them, because this will actually show you where you went wrong, especially if you were holding and you got in a little lower and you didn't sell at maybe $1.15 and get in and buy more. You know, writing things down actually keep you smart and keep you abreast of what you're investing in. I'm just thinking about the people who actually got into Shiba Inu last year. Shiba Inu was up 700,000% in May for the year of 2021. 700,000%. And do you know that there's some people who actually just didn't take any profit and decided to hold? That's crazy. Because if you got in early and didn't take any profit, and it was up 700,000% in 2021. I mean, and now here we are. She was still, for me, I'm still in profit because I got in early. But I'm just thinking that a lot of people that I did get in with, they didn't take any profit when it had that crazy run. They're like, "No, I'm gonna hold it." And I'm like, "Are you crazy? So you're just gonna just like let that
To a
money sit in
dollar.
your profile?" Right? It's not gonna happen. Oh my god. Go ahead, Wolf.
No, I was gonna say my experience with Shiba Inu is I made a decent amount, but I sold way too fucking soon, and I'm done beating myself up over it. But it was the difference between thousands and millions.
Oh.
So it could
Oh
really,
boy.
so it
Whoa.
could really fuck with you. But you just gotta breathe, take a deep breath,
Shit.
and just move it along, baby. Because there was other people out there just like me. Another buddy of mine, Scrooge, on Twitter here, CT influencer. He fucking hilarious guy, but me and him were in the same boat. We took profits way too soon. So there are those instances as well. But obviously profits are profits, people. So can't be mad about that by any means. But I did want to say real quick, I'm gonna hop off. But I always love talking to you ladies, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And thanks for letting me come up here and talk as always. And yeah, love you.
Of course, Wolf. Thank you for always stopping in and adding to the conversation. We adore you for it.
Yes, thank you so much, Wolf. You're a constant supporter. We appreciate you. And you always come up to the mic. You make sure you're here. And I know if you're not here, it's because you really are busy. You're doing something. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Later, peeps.
Later, Wolf.
Bye.
Oh man, with the dog. What's up?
Hey, old man with the dog.
Hi, ladies. Wanted to come in and say hello to you all. Wanted to say hello to everybody else. Um, and in regards with this, I mean, it's ditto Oculus, ditto Thymus, ditto Chris, ditto Wolf. And I think he just totally dropped off. In regards with just about everything that you all have been saying. But with this, there was a time a while back, and that's when I first ran into you, Thymus and Oculus, and that was Hodl to the Moon. I kept saying, make your plan and work your plan during that time, because I know that a lot of people got wrecked whenever the market started going back down. Uh, but I looked at it as, holy shit, this is the first time that I had ever had that opportunity to make that much money at one time. And it just couldn't pass it up. But everybody has their own plan and so forth. I'm still waiting to start my DCA back in. Um, and then moving on with the trading books, y'all calling your crypto books. I was taught that probably back in 2012, 2013, whenever I was trading the futures. That's such a good thing to do because it keeps your mind fresh on what you're doing. However, I was day trading, and there was a lot of writing and everything because you wrote down your losses, your gains, uh, and that was good for the psychological point of don't be greedy. And it teaches you not to be greedy. And then on the flip side, in selling too soon, at times, it teaches you not to be greedy. So be happy with what you get. happy with what you got, and start making your plan and working your plan for the next round. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, old man with the dog. Very wise words, and we appreciate every time you come up because that is true. And everything comes in cycles. Everything comes in cycles, and crypto is no different.
Right, and it just like he said when we met each other, we did meet old man with the dog during that hollow to the moon phase, and a lot of people were upset with themselves for listening to that, but that's because they didn't have a plan. Just like old man with the dog said, they didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan at all, because if you have a plan, no matter what somebody says, even if somebody's yelling that in your ear, you're not going to listen to it. Why? Because you have a plan. So at the end of the day, you can be upset with that person or anybody who tells you that, but at the end of the day, it's just your portfolio, and it's kind of your fault if you don't have a plan, and that's what you listen to. So that was good. Go ahead, old man. Yeah, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that no excuses. I
Yep.
mean, people have to accept their own actions. Nobody else is pushing the trigger but you. You may be listening to other people, but it comes right back to you, the individual, whether you screwed up or not. I mean, you got a 50-50 chance. So, but I mean, in regards with that, they've got to start accepting their own actions of what they do and not put blame back on other people. And I don't care if the other people are big time influencers or what. Nobody pulls the trigger but you.
Facts.
Thank
Big
you.
facts. Big facts.
For sure.
Oh snap! We got Sing on the mic. Come on, Sing. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say hello and just following up old man, wise words. That we have to just market cycles do go up and down, so we have to watch what's happening in the whole market. You shouldn't look at crypto market by itself. You have to see what's going on in stocks and bonds. What is the Federal Reserve doing? So I think you got to take the whole picture. I think you have to man. So I think that is the
Damn, Sing, you
only asset.
Sing. Okay. No, I was
Was that
saying
gonna
that. No, you was breaking up. Say what you said before about the Federal Reserve. I didn't. It just went out. So go ahead and say that again.
Yeah, I think you have to watch what the Federal Reserve is doing, because whatever they do, it impacts the crypto market in general. So the Fed meeting coming up end of July, they're signaling that they're going to raise interest rates 75 to probably more likely 75 basis points. So that'll impact the crypto market too. So we will probably still have, I think, 1 to 2 more months of rockiness. And the more I look at the picture, I think we really need to differentiate Bitcoin with crypto. I think Bitcoin, you can do dollar cost average and hodl. I think all the other cryptos are companies, so you have to really evaluate and have an entrance and exit strategy. I think you cannot apply DCA or hodl to any other crypto, because the tail risk of these cryptos going to zero is there for all the coins. But the tail risk, since Bitcoin has been there for 13 years and there's more and more adoption over time, the tail risk has been cut off. I would say it's not going to zero, because there's always going to be someone that wants Bitcoin. So I think just differentiating the two and just follow the market. And then there was one Mayer multiple that I don't know if I've mentioned before. It's a nice indicator that I found recently that is a really good one to see is Bitcoin a good price to buy right now or not? And the Mayer multiple is really good right now. It hasn't been, the Bitcoin price hasn't been this low, like 95% of the history of Bitcoin. So I can share that up in the nest. It's a good indicator, I think, for everyone to just learn about.
Yeah, throw it up in the nest. I mean, I'm always like when you come by. You always give good information. You always make sure that we don't forget about Bitcoin, which I do appreciate because honestly, if I had the money to buy one and some extra money, I'm not saying I wouldn't buy one. So I would. So because you're right. So please throw it up in the nest, Sing. Always good to
And
see you.
one thing I will say though, when you look at Bitcoin, is that you don't get with a lot of other things is the way it can travel the world. And like when you have people here in the US that are working and have families like back in Mexico, Ecuador, all of these places, they're able to send money back to their families very easily and not getting nailed over the head with wire transfers that may not get there the same day and things like that. So when you, the one thing I will never take away from Bitcoin is the usability and the way it's helped developing countries around the world. And then it's also had its own name state with being able to become a classified currency in some of these places also. So that you, if you like it or you're not, if you're a maxi or you're not, I don't think it's wise to be a maxi in anything. But the bottom line, Bitcoin has a lot of usability.
Listen, it's all about profit and money for me. I'm not a maxi. I'm all about making money and making sure that, I'm setting my future up. I'm not going to be hugging and loving up on no coins. I'm hugging and loving up on profit. But that's why I said I like when Sing comes in and gives like just, some Bitcoin information because it's some people don't want to hear about Bitcoin. I don't mind. This is crypto. Aren't we here to make money? So what's the problem? Old man with the dog, what's up?
Well, I wanted to also go back on what they were talking about earlier with Coinbase. I decided to move some funds off of there. And this time, when I did, uh, and this is what I'm not understanding, they've got a instant maneuver that they have, and I'd used that before, and it didn't cost me anything. This last time that I went to, and this was just, you see, this is Wednesday, I think it was Monday that I did it. They had a fee that they charged for it also, and this was under the instant, and on my app it still says free. And then after I did it, it was pending for 2 days instead of posting the next day. Um, and then all of a sudden, I start getting these things from Coinbase. I had to go back and re verify who I was. So uh, I am more and more of a strong believer of getting it off the exchanges. Ready to go back in, but still having it off of the exchanges. Thank you for allowing me to speak again.
Yeah, you're right. I I'm not even going to act like I've never left money on an exchange. I did. That's why I lost all my Doge. But you're right. I mean, tough lesson, but lesson learned. I do think that if you have anything on the exchange, you should get it off. And I don't know what's going on with Coinbase, old man. Every time I look around, they got something new going on, and I usually only find out when I sign in to do something. So I don't know. That's why I was telling the space that I don't what I have. I think I have $5 on Coinbase. So if they take that, I won't. I'm not gonna cry and I'm not gonna file bankruptcy. So I'm okay with that.
Right, right. But I mean, Coinbase has literally got us by the hair
Mm-hmm.
in regards with it's so easy to get on and get off. I mean, I've recently just set my son up, my youngest son, up on Coinbase. But I'm still having him hold off instead of FOMOing in right now because I'm still a believer that this is going to come back down again. Uh, Big believer in that, especially with everything coming up. We've got the end of July. September has always been a bad month. Uh,
Right, right.
then you've got the midterm elections. And
Mm-hmm.
even after the midterm elections, you still got time before the end of the year for it to pump back up again. But that's all strategies that you're looking at. And sometimes you can take those strategies and throw them out the window. But still, I mean, thank you.
But that's why, you know what, oh man, that's why I just have like money set aside. I'm not like
Right.
putting my money on Coinbase and USDC. I'm not even playing with that. I'll just leave it in my bank account where even if it does get taken, at least I can get something because it's FDIC insured. But I have money set aside for that right moment for projects that I'm looking for. When it hits the price I want, I'm gonna use my debit card with Coinbase because it makes my it makes the money
Yeah.
readily available fast. So that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, you're right with telling your son not to just like buy a bunch of stuff or just put money on Coinbase. That's good. I wouldn't do that because I don't know what they're doing right now. I don't trust them right now because
Right.
they're in
Absolutely.
survival mode. You can tell by the stuff they're doing. They're like, they're not too sure.
Exactly. Absolutely, man. Thank you all.
No problem, old man.
No problem. It is Kim and Insane.
Yep.
Hello?
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Hey.
Hey.
Had you guys already spoken about Voyager?
Not this week. That's been like the last couple weeks, but I don't think we brought up Voyager this week. Only 3 Arrows Capital and Celsius.
Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to I just saw some stuff about they filed for bankruptcy protection.
Yep, they sure did.
Okay, and so I'm like, I know how bankruptcy works, but I was I was thinking to myself, you remember all of these, everybody who held, what was it? XRP was to get Flare. And then, these places said, okay, we'll allow you to deposit Flare for these people. But Flare hasn't been deposited yet. And so I'm like, well, so how does bankruptcy affect that? Because, they have it where something about they're going to give you a prorated amount of your crypto, but is that what's already on there? Or would that even encompass the, the Flare that they don't even have yet? Or
It's
can they
not
do that?
going. It's not going to cover the flare. It's going to depend on which bankruptcy that they go through and how it goes. Because some, like Celsius, is claiming the Chapter 11, which will allow them to reorganize and open again. I believe Voyager, Oculus, wasn't Voyager that did the Chapter 15, or was that Three Arrows
No,
Capital?
no. Actually, Voyager did Chapter 11. I think Celsius is doing a different chapter, like the one that was bought out in 2005. Remember we were talking about this in
No,
the
that was
groups?
Three Arrows Capital is doing the Chapter
Chapter,
15.
yeah. So okay, so Voyager is doing Chapter 11. I think Celsius is doing Chapter 11 also then, because I was looking at the different chapters these are doing. These crypto exchanges are doing.
Yeah, so what that's going to end up probably being, if anything, if we haven't lost all of our assets like I feel like I have on Celsius, what that will mean is you'll probably get pennies on the dollar, or whatever fraction is broke down if the judge rules for that. But they actually, when the assets are on their platform, they actually own those, and you're just holding them there. So anything that you were supposed to get attributed to something that you were holding on to the exchange, like an airdrop, you have no rights to those whatsoever.
Okay, hold up now. So you're saying that so Flare would actually be theirs, because I see my problem with it is just trying to, because it's an airdrop, I'm trying to figure out how do you claim bankruptcy on something you don't have?
Well, wasn't Flare like an IOU?
Well, Flare was an IOU from
I,
uh that company,
yeah.
not from Voyager.
Mm.
Voyager said, yes, we will pass it on over when you send it. So I'm just trying to figure out how to, it's a little confusing
Right.
on how does that work. Will Voyager say, well, you know what, since we're doing chapter 11, we're going to prorate how much we'll give them of that too, because Voyager does say something about they're going to prorate your assets and give you, a certain amount. Your USD is federally backed, so that's not a problem. But I'm trying to see how you get around that. Those assets weren't ever given to you, so does anybody else have?
So either Flare Network isn't going to send it to them and assume those coins again, or Voyager is going to get them, and that will not be prorated. That will be their asset, kind of like how Coinbase did with Song. Wasn't it Coinbase, Oculus? For if you held a certain amount, they got Songbird, and they
Right.
were going to distribute that, and they never did. They
They
held
kept
it
it.
as their own asset.
Yep,
Yeah,
they kept it. They kept Songbird. Yeah, Coinbase, right? Wasn't that for a
right.
few? Yeah, they kept it. Yeah.
So when it comes to Flare and Voyager, I do not. I'm 99.9% sure no holder of XRP is going to get Flare through Voyager.
Right. So it's about time to start writing to whatever his name is. Tell him don't give it to why give it to them so that they can help themselves out. I mean, it may not even be worth anything, but it's always a thought when you see them go bankruptcy on something. And it
Right,
is
and especially with Chapter 11, because that allows them to reorganize. So that means they can assume this debt and all of that, and that after the bankruptcy, they can come right back in and restructure their organization and get back to running again. It's up to the people if they're going to trust them or not. The same way with Celsius, I won't trust them again, but it's going to be up to people in the future. But yeah, that Flare, if that's already been sent to them as an exchange, I would
no,
assume that is gone.
it hasn't been sent. It hasn't been sent.
Then it's time to start talking to the Flare people and tell them, don't send that. And how can we get a snapshot?
Right. Yeah. And so that goes to the importance of what you guys were saying about keeping the stuff on the exchange, because, had I, well, I don't think with XRP, I don't think we could, I don't even remember with them. But anyway, it's important, even if you going through airdrops, to put it in a wallet and get an airdrop, because look at this. That's a mess there. I had a lot of XRP. I was supposed to get a lot of Flare. And so, yeah, somehow they're going to either get it or nobody going to get it or something.
What I'm thinking from what you're saying, Kim, is like, since you use Voyager, I just don't think you're gonna get that snapshot benefit from keeping your stuff on the exchange like they promised. You
Yeah.
know, that's what it sounds like. It's not gonna happen. Sorry, but that's what it is. But I mean, at least you know, I mean, it sucks, but at least you didn't. Did you lose anything else on the exchange? Like, did you just XRP is still on there, or you took it off?
No, I had a wallet.
Okay,
No,
cool.
I don't know what I did. I can't even remember. I think I sold the XRP on there, and I don't remember now. It's been so long. I'd have to go back and look to see what I did. But there's nothing on there but some Shiba. They can have it.
I hear you. Well, as long as you didn't lose any money, that's what I was trying to figure
No,
out. Yeah, you good,
I
good,
may
good.
it may have lost $30.
Ah, okay, cool. That's better than 300 or 3,000 or 30,000.
Yeah,
It
I would.
sure is.
I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had at one time. I think I had about 30,000 XRP on a Voyager, but I can't remember what I did. I either I either
Did
sold it when I
you
think I
sold
sold
it?
half of it. I think I sold half of it when it went up to like a $1.60,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and
Nice.
then yeah, because I gotten it low, and I said, well, whatever. And then I think I sold the rest of it and bought it back on. I think you couldn't. I can't remember, but it was someplace I had it. I couldn't. I couldn't withdraw it, and so
Was it
I
Bitru?
huh?
Was it Bitru or Uphold?
No, because I'm
It's not.
in. No, it wasn't. But no, it wasn't true. I think it might have been Voyager that I couldn't withdraw. So wherever it was, because back then I had stuff on every exchange.
I remember. Yeah, you was busy.
Yeah, but it was one of those exchanges that I sold it all and bought it on another exchange so that I could withdraw it to my wallet.
I think that's what Chris was talking about. Like he was saying, like I think it was on Uphold. He was saying you couldn't withdraw it, but you can just sell it, for another currency, I guess, and then withdraw it and then get profit another way. But like he was saying, some of the things you couldn't actually take off the exchange. Some cryptocurrencies you
Yeah,
couldn't. Yeah.
it was something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Well, good. At least you ain't get. At least you didn't get caught up with your money on that Voyager exchange because I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people who actually had money on that exchange are still are kind of like stuck from withdrawing it, and I'm kind of glad that you don't have a bunch of stuff on there except
Yeah.
your 30.
Yeah, but it's just like Celsius. It's stuck in the
Really?
limbo, and now they've assumed everybody's digital assets that were held on there as their
Oh,
own, and that is part of their bankruptcy
oh,
take.
so they
Is
took
those
your
are their
stuff.
assets? Yeah, those
Oh,
are now their assets, and because it's a Chapter 11, that's why I keep saying pennies on a dollar. I mean, if it was something worth a couple pennies, then you're not gonna get pennies on a dollar. You're going to get a very, 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 very small amount. Like I'm going to get probably something very laughable for my Matic that was on Celsius.
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
damn.
I'm not gonna. And I know it's gonna be hard to avoid, but I'm not going to deal with any exchange that kept whatever. If you kept something from me, or you went chapter 11 or whatever, I'm through with you. That's what we don't do. A lot of people just continue to go back to these places that have already abused you. uh, I
Yeah.
figure, even if I'm only, $500, well, my $500, I'd rather put it somewhere else, not with someplace that's already taken from me.
For a fact, I will never circle back to Celsius. I don't even care how fucking sparkly they make that shit look when they come back, or if they get a whole new team. I cannot forget the way you spit in my face. And especially when it came out saying, hey, I'm having a problem withdrawing this, that, or whatever. Something's wrong with Celsius. And then Alex came and said, quit spreading this FUD. Name one person who's had this issue, this, that, or whatever. Almost exactly 24 hours later, the announcement came out. We're halting all transactions besides deposits. You can still deposit. And then
Wow.
that went on for, oh, it was just about it was almost at the 2 month mark of transactions being halted. Then when their filing of their bankruptcy came out, and now because they're having to file all their numbers and their money sheets and all of that, they are noticing, or it is now like a 1.3 billion, I believe it's billion-dollar deficit in their records. And so yeah, and then there was a compliance officer that worked for them that came out and did an interview and said he heard the conversations and had been a part of sideline conversations of how Celsius was talking at Christmas parties and stuff, of how they were going to manipulate the cell token to keep it either suppressed or keep it raised, and the different things that they were doing. So they were doing some funny business behind the scenes, and we know that that happens in financial businesses. But when you keep talking about transparency, this and that, and it seemed like they were doing okay with that, but they were, the way that they were also trading behind the scenes, and he heard the team talk to someone who was going to invest. How do you do X, Y, and Z? And are you trading to garner yields? Oh no, we don't do that. And that wasn't an open thing for investors to know. They kept that in the back end, and that wouldn't have been a big deal if they weren't creating a deficit within their own books that then was going to shit on all investors.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of the loop a little bit. What about power? Anybody else got stuck in power and can explain to me what's happening? I just realized.
It will not let me migrate. I try to migrate. Then they said, oh, now it's open for everything, because it was only being able to migrate first come first serve, because they didn't have that much money in their treasury, so it was going in waves. Then not long ago they said, okay, everybody can migrate and we're going to do it for you. Well, ever since then, it shows that I have no generators at all. So mine is gone, and I'm not going to keep looking at it because I cannot physically even see any of my generators.
I thought it was rugged, and somehow now they're talking about what they're gonna do from this point. Am I wrong? It didn't rug. Like
Oh
they
shit,
said
I
something
don't know.
about. Yeah, it said something about one of their uh developers did something overnight, and yeah, but I mean, I'll get into it. I just thought somebody else and would have known something about what was going on.
I personally do not. I know Oculus said she was going to be done looking at hers. I don't
Oh, I
know.
gave up on that. It was
I'm sure
actually
you did.
I was like, you know what? I didn't put that much money in there for it to be pulling out the hair that I have. So I haven't looked at power. I forgot I even had it until you brought it up. I haven't looked at power since maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I'm good on that. It's all right. I don't know. I really don't know anything about it. It just was like, because I got in on a FOMO on a on a FOMO
From your
train.
cousin.
Yeah, you see, he ain't here no more. Yeah, I got it on him, but yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, Kim. I see some people still talking about it, but I don't really know what's going on. Just because I didn't put a lot of money in it, so I was able to eat that loss and not, feel bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. Just trying to get caught up with my all my zeros. You know.
You ain't the
I
only one
understand.
that
It's
got
good to see
zeros.
you.
Yeah, it's good to
Good to
see you,
see you,
Kim.
though.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you.
All
Yeah.
right,
Thank
Kim.
you.
All right, Kim. We had
Well,
Sing. Wait, Sing was getting ready to get on the mic, sis.
okay.
Go ahead, Sing.
Yeah, just I'm going through. I'm driving, so if I cut out, let me know, and I'll jump back shortly. Uh, I think yeah, everyone's discussing that. Yeah, we really have to be careful at leaving our coins on exchanges, and yeah, the Chapter 11 Celsius and Voyager shows that these companies they take risks with our money, so you got to be really careful leaving it with them because if you leave it with them, they'll take risks and make money for themselves. And then I was just gonna talk about that Mayer multiple real quick, like a brief. Look at it. It's very simple. You take the current Bitcoin price and divide it by the 200-day moving average, and right now it comes up with 0.61. Are you guys able to hear me? Okay.
Yes, you were cutting out in the beginning, but it sounds like you're coming in clear now.
Okay. Yeah. Just stop me if it cuts out. So you basically divide that, and it comes out with 0.61. And historically, the Bitcoin price has been higher 96% of the time when you come up with this Mayer multiple. An average is about 1.41. And there's a little link down there at the bottom. I would encourage everyone just to read a little bit about it, learn about the Mayer multiple. And you can use this not just for Bitcoin, but any kind of stock or anything that's long-term investment. You can use the same Mayer multiple. And they say when it's less than one is you should be DCAing strong into your asset, and anything below 2.4 is a good number to DCA into. So something good to just study up a little bit on. And yeah, I think discussing the coins, I've heard like a lot of people are forgetting about their coins and stuff. This is where I think 5 is a good number. If you hold more than 5, it's hard to keep track and research them.
But but trust me, Sing. If it was actually a coin that was making me some money, I would never forget about it. That's the only reason why I haven't been paying attention is because it's like, I mean, I'm checking the price, I'm checking what it's doing, and for like the project we were talking about, Power, it just didn't make sense for me to actually connect my wallet, log in, and compound when it was pennies. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't need to collect like $1 or $2 a day. I mean, it just wasn't worth my time. So it just it wasn't important anymore. But I didn't have as many as a lot of other people did in that project. But when it's something that actually is making me a profit, oh, I never forget. But I also don't believe in having. I agree with you to the extent I don't believe in having like 40 coins because like I said before, that's like having 40 children. Some people can't even keep up with one child. How are you going to keep up with 40 different coins? I mean, that's a lot. You have to keep up with
I can
everything.
multitask.
Come on, man. That's a lot of multitasking. That's
No, I've reduced it down quite a bit. But yeah, I was having a hard time limiting myself to like 10.
I know. I'm. Trust me. I was just saying, like, just speaking from experience, like having so many coins, um, it looks real cool in your portfolio, but you find yourself missing pertinent information because you haven't been able to keep up with them all. So I do think there's a perfect number for everybody. Hey, some people can actually work with 40 coins. I haven't met one person yet that actually can. Um, but some people do it. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think there is a magic number. For me, I'm trying to get down to at least 12. Some people like 5, some people like 6, some people only want to deal with 3. I know some people have the special 3, but that's a little too low for me. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
I have myself at 23. And I think when I'm living on the beach, sipping out of a coconut, I'll be able to monitor all of them well. I'll have no other job. I have no other things. I already have a kid traveling the world. The next one's on his way out. And I'll have my feet in the Caribbean Ocean looking at crypto the whole time. I'm hoping. If not, we'll reduce that down. But I'll let y'all know. I think I can monitor that much.
I think she's gonna open up an exchange on the beach there. She's
Oh
like,
hell no!
no,
I
no,
don't want to do nothing like that. I don't want to be in control of nobody else's shit. I'll watch mine. I'll help my kids, but no, that's as far as I'm gonna go. And then I'll say this is not financial advice.
Oh
it's,
no, definitely not.
it was good talking to you guys. You guys take care.
It's good talking to
You
you too,
too.
Sing.
Drive safe.
It's been a while. Glad you dropped in on us, Sing. Good to see you. We had Yvonne. Yvonne, what's up?
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hey Vaughn,
I missed you guys.
miss you too.
We sorry.
Yeah.
We had stuff to do last week. We sorry.
Okay. I get it. I get it. You know what though? You guys should have like a highlights like ESPN, a highlights of the show, because it would be funny, putting Chris's shower in there, and then all we have to do is say the word Celsius, and we're gonna have bleep you from Timeless.
That'll always forever be a thing now.
That would be a good wrap up show. But yeah, it's just blowing my mind over here when you guys telling me you're forgetting about coins and the amount that people were making. I was like, oh my God, why can't that happen to me? So I'm just continue to put my head down, trying to focus on learning more. But also, I know I asked this before and it looked like some changes had been made. But I know when you guys were talking about the debit cards, the crypto debit cards, um, knowing what you guys know now, what ones would you suggest? And with that, since I haven't moved on that part yet.
Timeless, you take it since you know have more experience with the debit cards than I do, because I'm scared of them.
I mean, really, still the only one that I really mess with hard, um, and I'm really skeptical about what's going on with it right now is the Coinbase card. That's been my on and off ramp. That's how I've taken profits and used it. We've seen Global Inc. that was the MasterCard for a few different cryptos. They gave everybody like a 5-day runway period of we're gonna stop servicing these at this date. So get your stuff off. So I think right now, while we're in this bull cycle and everything is still kind of up in the air and we're seeing exchanges go down, I don't think there's any one guarantee. The one thing that I do like about the Coinbase one is if Coinbase goes down, the actual card itself in the USDC on it is at least partially FDIC insured. I don't think it's quite as much of like an actual traditional bank. I'd have to go back and look because I did all my research on that, but then there's been so much news. I don't want to give false information that I haven't went back and researched. I'm almost completely done with the projects on my house. So within the next couple of days, I can get back into my heavy research and I'll put that at the top of the list to try to get back to you, Yvonne.
Yeah, perfect. Because I know, like, I heard Chris say Uphold has a card and Crypto.com had well, they probably still have the card, but they reduced their rewards. And so it's kind of like just out there on a list, not a priority, but it's just there. I wanted to make sure that if I ever had to, something happens and you had to say, take your crypto and go, I want to have a way that I could get it.
Well,
So with crypto.com, just to intersect that real quick, crypto.com is kind of like, when you're building your credit and you go and they say, okay, you don't have a good enough credit. You need to get a self-secured card where
Yeah.
you put your funds on it and that's what you back it up with. That's how crypto.com's is. Like you have to put in a certain amount of crow and have it staked for, I believe it was 6 months.
oh,
Oh,
it's like
wow.
a secured. It's like a secured card. Are you
Yes,
serious?
yes.
Oh man,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
So then you have to stake it for I believe it was 6 months for whatever tier card, and then they would send you your card. So then past that, I kind of was like, and I know that there's benefits on it, like some of the tiers is like free Netflix and stuff like that. But once I knew I had to stake for 6 months just to get the card, I really stopped looking into that one. And Coinbase has been my number one go-to. I know Chris did bring up Uphold. I've been kind of on the fence about Uphold myself over the couple years, just because just been a few things that have caught my eye in the wrong way. So I would like to go back and look and then give you a real breakdown of what I found in my personal thoughts.
Right, yeah, because I looked at crypto.com and I saw that there were different tiers, but I saw like at the lowest tier, I thought you had to put some Crow, like you said, in there. I didn't know it was for 6 months. But yeah, those are things that I wanted to look at. I don't need a secured card at all. So yeah, that information would be great.
Now it makes sense. That's why everybody was going so damn gaga over them cards on crypto.com. Oh, I got the Ruby card. Oh, I got the regular card. They actually really they had to go through all those things to get those different colors. Ah, come
Yes,
on.
and for all of them, the one that I wanted to get at the time in Crow was up. Oh man, I think I looked at it and I believe it equaled being like around 7 to 10 grand that I had to stake before I could qualify for the card, and I was like, "Ooh,
Oh,
that's kind of steep."
that's kind of corny. I mean, wow, people be bigging up crypto.com. So it's like they went back to the early. I mean, I remember when they was doing secure cards when I got out of high school. I mean, come on, who does that now? Oh, come on with that.
Right. I mean, I'm doing a small one through the credit union we're part of for my kid. Well, I'm not doing it. My kids will be doing it as a way as when they're coming out, so they have some fiscal responsibility. This is your money. You're putting it behind your card. So in order to build your credit, you need to monitor and only use no more than 30% of what you put behind it. But when you're looking at crypto and we're all grown adults, I think that's just a little much to be asking in this space.
That's a whole lot.
And
Jeez.
those were some steep prices too. I think there was one that was like at least 10K. Like you said, Timeless, or it might have been more. But you get a cooler looking card. And so really it was a status symbol from what I was looking at with crypto.com. It may have been more than that, but that's what I saw off the roof from looking at it.
So the more money you spend, you get a funky color or a metal card.
Yeah, you get your metal card, you get a different color, and then the different tiers like offer different things. Like, oh, if you have this tier, then when you're at the airport, you can go to certain airport lounges, kind of like how American Express does it. Then if you pay for your Netflix with it, then they'll refund you, so you're essentially getting free Netflix. And or like I believe there was a discount, some kind of discount on rental car. There was a few of those things, but being prior service military, I get a lot of those. And if we really sit down and look, a lot of us can get a lot of those benefits if you just do the legwork. So yeah, it seems cool on a list of things. Oh, well, I can get this, this, and this. But the bottom line is you have to take X amount of Crow, you have to stake it with them and not touch it. Like, not touch it. You're not adding to it. You're not subtracting from it. You cannot touch it. And I believe it was 6 months. I believe it was 6 months. And then you qualify for the card, and then they'll send it to you. And then from there, I don't know, because I was not about to give them between, like, I believe it was, some of them were between 7,000 to 17,000. And yeah, that was not in the cards for me. No pun intended.
That's because they needed to pay for that $6.5 million corny commercial they put up during the Super Bowl. That's why they got you guys staking your crypto. That is the most ridiculous and asinine thing I have heard, really. So everybody was like going crazy, posting their cards in the groups that I was in, and they actually had to secure these cards. Oh, get out of here with that. Get out of here.
Absolutely.
It all comes to light. Kim, what's up?
Yeah, when I had to read too much for the Crypto.com card, I said that's too much for me. I wasn't gonna try to dig and try to figure out what they were saying do, but I did get an Uphold card, Yvonne. But the problem is it goes right back to if your funds are on there and they go bankrupt, what happens? Because and Uphold card was really nice because I could have 20 different tokens on Uphold, and when I go to the store, I could go in my app and say, "Oh, okay, I want to use Ethereum, or I want to use XLM. I want to use XRP." You can just choose which one you wanted to use to make your payment. But now after Voyager, huh, I don't know. Because if crypto.com, if you got your stuff on there so you could use it on your card and Voyager goes bankrupt, well, they just killed you.
Okay, so I did just pull up crypto.com, and I went back because I had abandoned my application. So there is an option to do it without a crow stake, and then you get no benefits. But then when you get a benefit for, this is the Indigo card. I don't know how much I was going to need to stake for that. You get a 2% back. You get 100% back for Spotify and Netflix. So you still have to pay for it. You're just going to get it back. You get the airport lounge, and you get a 4% crow stake reward, and get up to 10% back on top of the spending rewards above when you shop for your favorite. And I don't know of any. Oh, the only place I recognize on this list is Glasses USA. So it's just like, yeah, I'm looking. So, and then, so you have to purchase and hold $4,000 of USD worth of Crow tokens for 180 days to receive the Royal Indigo card. There you go.
I mean, it sounds like for some people they actually, some people actually may like what it does, but I get lounges with my other credit cards. I don't see the
Right.
need to actually do anything with them like that. And wow, so you're basically like almost in a sense like staking your coins on there and not touching them for 180 days, right? So
Right.
that's a wow.
And
Huh.
I believe that even when that's up, to keep a certain thing, I think you still are supposed to keep your Crow on there. I don't know, because I never went through and got the card because there was just too much with it. But like you said, there's other ways to get into airport lounges. Get a certain airplane ticket and you have access to them. Some of your regular credit cards that you might have in your wallet already give you access to some of these airport lounges. So, I mean, it sounds good, and it was very gimmicky, and it got people on board, and that's what business plans and businesses are supposed to do. But when you really dig into that, I just don't think it's worth what it is. And oh, just so I can have a metal card, there's I can get a metal card someplace else too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's all about getting a metal card, I already have a bunch of those. So I mean, but like I said, it's all about the individual investor. Somebody may actually need that, and because they may not be able to get another credit card. So it works for some people. I'm not knocking it, but I just think when I'm thinking about for me, it's just like what I would never do that. Personally, I would never do that because it just seems like it's a lot to actually just get a card. And like you just said, you can get a card without the benefits, but why would I use it when I can use my other cards to get the same benefits? So it's all
You're
about
right.
it's all about what you as the individual person, whether it works for you or not.
And I don't think it's just the benefits. I think maybe you'll get a certain card or a card number, because it says unless you have it staked for the 180 days, that's what qualifies you for the metal indigo card. So, and that was just the $4,000 of Crow. So it doesn't even matter what the price of Crow is. They're putting a USD price on what you need to buy. So if Crow is higher, you're still paying whatever baseline they're saying. So it's going to be less Crow. They just want you to have it and you stake it. And I mean, and then you also have to think that there's people that can't even access crypto.com in certain places in the country. So, I mean, if it works for you and that's what you like, I'm all for whatever makes you happy. When we're talking about feasibility and somebody trying to have access to a card pretty quickly to be able to use it as an on-off ramp, I don't believe crypto.com's card qualifies in that unless you want to wait. And some people who want that card as an on and off ramp don't have the 180 days to wait.
Yeah, that's like almost five. That's like five. What was that? 4 or 5 months? Good Lord. Yeah. What the? Oh man. Anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, it is it's 10 what time is it? It's 10:14. We're gonna be closing up soon, closing up shop. If anybody wants to speak, please raise your hand. I see Yvonne put her hand up. But after Yvonne gets on, we're gonna close if nobody else wants to speak. Go ahead, Yvonne. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, this is just a piece of information if somebody wanted it. They shared this in a meeting I went to today. It was just the top exchanges, crypto exchanges ranked by security. There's a website called, it's ser.live, Live, ser.live, and you can look on there and see. I was just sharing it for people who wanted to look at that. And you could look at the cryptocurrencies or you can look at the exchanges for the ratings.
Yvonne, say that again because I was looking at it. Say it again.
Yeah, the website is CER. I'm sorry, probably said S. CER.live, and it's showing the top crypto exchanges ranked by security or the top cryptocurrencies ranked by security.
Oh, I'm looking at it. Damn, where's Qcoin? Damn, they trying to shit on Qcoin. This shit is damn. Qcoin is like in the depths. It's like Qcoin is at number 31. Oh, okay. Yeah, crypto.com is number 1. Kraken's number 2. Whitebit. Seriously? Whitebit is number
What?
3. Yeah, y'all, I'm telling you, see what I'm saying? Whitebit is number 3. Cryptology is number 4.
And you can click by solvency as well in there.
Oh, okay. Proof of funds, security rating. Okay. This is interesting. I'm going to post this on my page. So if anybody actually wants to check this out, you can do it on my page. Thank you, Yvonne. This is interesting.
Sure.
I guess it means, security by hacking or your funds are safe or
I guess whatever audit, yeah.
Yeah, because Qcoin did get hacked. Qcoin did get hacked a few years ago. I didn't have anything on it. I guess that's why they just passed. I didn't have that much on it. I guess that's why the hackers just passed by my account. But
let's be real. When I was in Mexico, I was actually in Cancun at the time towards the end of my trip, and crypto.com got exploited.
Right. That's what I'm saying. No exchange is really safe. I guess it's just, I don't know. But no exchange is really safe. They all get hacked. Sometimes I think this inside jobs too. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't trust these exchanges.
And you can watch your balances. If those balances start going down, watch out.
There's nothing you could do then. You just have to watch it and cry. There's nothing you could do then.
Yeah, because when crypto.com got exploited, they locked us all out. And then we were out for a few hours. Then they put out a tweet saying you have to re-verify with the 2FA. And a lot of people were unable to get back in because they didn't truly know how to do a real 2FA. So I do specifically remember that because I was like, hold up. Because I was doing something in it when I got kicked out and I could not log back in. Yeah, that's when I texted you when I was in Cancun. I was in our Airbnb on the back patio. That's how I remember it so vividly. We had just gotten off the island and we're at the Airbnb in Cancun. I was like, oh shit, what just happened to crypto.com? I was in here moving funds because, like I said,
I
I did
remember
not
that.
lie when I said crypto helped
Yeah.
me do part of my 6 weeks in Mexico.
Yeah, you was
I was
moving a
in
lot of
there
stuff.
moving funds,
Yeah.
and I got kicked out. And then I came in and asked a bunch of people. Then I texted you like, "Yo, what's really going on?" But then I found out everybody else was having the same issue. Then they put out a tweet that they had lost. At that point, it was like what, $4.3 million. They locked
Mhm.
everybody out so they could restructure it and make people re-verify logging in.
Yeah, that was last. That was when, that was last year.
Yeah,
Like,
that was in.
was that the summertime? No, you didn't. You wasn't going in the
No,
summertime.
we went to winter. We were in winter.
That's right. All right. Yeah.
It was after the first thing, so it was beginning of January. It was the beginning of January.
Yes, we was yes. All right. Well, anybody crypto.com and they shenanigans. Anybody else want to come to the mic? If not, we're gonna close it out. Going once. Old man with the dog. What's up?
I hate being like maybe one of the last ones whenever going once. I'm just prolonging this because I really enjoy these cryptocurrency week in review with everyone. It's so great to be able to talk and listen, learn, and meet everybody. So wish this could happen more than once a week, but understand the timing involved in regards with it. You all are doing a wonderful job and appreciate it tremendously. You all have a good evening, and if nobody else steps up, good night to everyone.
Oh, thanks, old man with the dog. Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Soul Man with the dog. That was great.
Yes, we love talking to you guys. Glad that I still get, like I said, the same people that tune in all the time here. I appreciate you guys so much. Me and Timeless too. It's good to see you all. And that's why when you guys aren't here, I'm like, I know Kim wasn't here for a few weeks because she had some health issues, and I was like, "Where Kim at?" So I hit her up because she was always here too. She's been here from the beginning since the first damn show. So, so yeah, she was here at the first show. So when she wasn't here, I was looking for her. But yeah, it's good to see you, peoples. Anybody else want to come up to the mic? If not, I'm gonna toss it to Timeless. All right, I'm gonna do the countdown like I do. Going once, going twice. All right, Timeless, go ahead.
All right. Yep. It was a hard decision for us not to come on last week because we really enjoy interacting with everybody, talking about crypto. So that was definitely a hard decision for us to take that week off. But we appreciate everybody who tunes in. Without y'all, there'd be no reason for us to be here to discuss this. We could just keep our conversations the way they were. Just a recap of tonight. Hey, if you value what you might have on the exchange, or you know your friends or family that have money on the exchange, I would let them know to try to get that off. Get your security matters at hand, like UV keys and things like that. This is the time now to do your learning and your research so that we can set ourselves up for an amazing bull market, that we're able to take profits and set us up for a bear market to capitalize on this cycle that will inevitably come again. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really appreciate talking to y'all as well. And that's all I have tonight.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this in closing, and this is actually for the people who haven't tuned in, who are going to listen. Um, the ones that don't have the same gusto they had last year when their portfolio was 5 digits or more. Um, Anytime you enter an asset class while it's having a bull run, you need to prepare your mind for when it won't be a green day, week, or year. To keep your senses, don't listen to those hollering bull run every time we have a relief in the market, or those who holler bear market when we have a week or two of downtrends, or those who say crypto is a scam. Crypto was going through the same things that new technologies go through at the start. The internet went through a lot of innovation cycles where there were internet companies that tried different business models that didn't work out. So it's not that crypto was a scam, it's going through the growing pains of any new technology. And this is a different asset class. And a lot of times people aren't around because they can't take what's going on with the market. But I'm glad to see you all here. Just stay the course and you'll be all right. With that said, I wish everybody a good night. Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, ladies.